Today, I'll be ranking every quick service restaurant in Disney's Animal Kingdom.
All the way from the worst,
Yeah, this is awful,
to the best.
now this is amazing. Animal Kingdom is my favorite park to grab a bite to eat. There is some really unique food here, and some of it is coming from quick service restaurants. According to the official Disney website, there are 8 quick service restaurants in the park. Today, I'll be visiting all of them, trying out some food, and letting you know how they rank. But before we get started, I want to hear from all of you. Drop me a comment down below, letting me know your ranking of the quick service restaurants in the park. Alrighty, let's kick things off with number 8 right here in Discovery Island Pizzafari. And yes, since this does rank as number 8, the very last spot on our list, let's talk about some of the good things about Pizzafari first. The main thing that comes to mind when it comes to good things about Pizzafari is the nostalgia in this restaurant. I always say that this restaurant here feels like one of the only places at Disney World that is still stuck in the 90s. It's colorful, the design on the walls is very impressive and just brings back all of that nostalgia, as does like just the tables and chairs, the colorfulness of it, the bugs on the chairs. I feel like this, and there's another restaurant in Animal Kingdom that just would never be made this day and age, and I honestly really appreciate it, and I hope that Disney never changes the interior of this restaurant. Back when I was a kid, we used to come to Pizzafari every time we came to Animal Kingdom. I don't know why, because there are so many better places in the park to eat, but I do carry a lot of nostalgia, like I said, about this place. Even just walking into the restaurant, the scent that you get, it's like a very particular scent of the like frozen pizzas that they're just making up over here, that it just reminds me of childhood. I don't know what it is. Can anyone else relate? I don't know. I just love it in here. I love all of those old school kind of details, and that's unfortunately really where the good part about Pizzafari ends. As the name kind of hints, they are serving up pizza here at Pizzafari, and it's those typical Disney cardboard pizzas that you really don't want. Right across the way over at Terra Treats, they also actually have fantastic pizza. They usually have like a specialty slice, and then it's almost like a grandma style Sicilian slice, and it's really good. So if you want to get pizza, you gotta go there. You shouldn't come to Pizzafari. I think they're like the frozen DiGiorno personal pizzas that they're serving up here, and along with pizza, they also have like a Caesar salad. They actually used to have a chicken parm sandwich, but just recently they changed that out for some pastas that I really have not heard good things about. They have a chicken parm pasta as well as a creamy pesto pasta with chicken, and I've heard both compared to either a TV dinner or cafeteria style food. I've heard worse things about the chicken parm, so today I decided to, for the first time, try out this creamy pesto pasta here. And upon inspection, it looks like we've got this looks like a boiled chicken breast, guys. It looks like boiled chicken with some maybe mozzarella and Italian herbs melted on top, and then we've got this dry pasta. Okay, there's actually a little bit of sauce on the bottom there. It looks very dry from the top. And then we've got this piece of frozen Texas toast. Let's try some of this pasta here first. It doesn't look to have much pesto. It looks to be more of like just an Alfredo sauce with some herbs. The pasta isn't dry, okay? So there is that. It's not dry. The sauce is on the bottom. You just gotta mix it up and get a couple pieces from the bottom. So it just kind of tastes like wet pasta. This doesn't taste like pesto whatsoever. I wouldn't even say it tastes like Alfredo. It just tastes like wet pasta. Not good. Let's try the chicken, okay? We got our chicken breast here, coated in cheese. Somehow the chicken has more flavor than the pasta. I'm surprised because the chicken did not look good, but the chicken actually doesn't really taste that bad. Let's go for the garlic bread here now. Oh, bottom is nice and toasted at least. This somehow tastes worse than the Texas Toast brand that you get frozen from the grocery store. It doesn't have any flavor. I am totally fine with them going, like the pasta route here at Pizzafari and adding some pastas onto the menu, but these do definitely taste like cafeteria style pastas. While it's not anything incredible, over in Disneyland, they have Alien Pizza Planet where they are serving up some iconic chicken fusilli pasta. And it's like not anything great or homemade tasting, but It's a classic, and it's actually like good, especially on a long day in the park. That chicken fusilli pasta is really good. So I would like them to like own it and kind of go that route and make something similar to the chicken fusilli pasta. Add more pesto in there, add more flavor. I really wish Disney would consider changing the brand of frozen pizza that they serve at their quick service restaurants. I don't think the quality is there, and I think they could find a pizza that's like a little bit better quality, you know? And I wish they would add something unique to this menu here because it is such a unique restaurant. Pizzafari deserves some love. They need to pay some attention to it and revamp the menu here. Well, number 7 is Creature Comforts. Again, I am not quite sure why or how Disney considers the Starbucks locations in the parks a quick service restaurant, but they do. A couple of weeks ago, I made this video where I ranked every quick service restaurant in the Magic Kingdom, which, by the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely make sure you do. And I had Magic Kingdom's Starbucks location, the Main Street Bakery, in dead last place, 13 out of 13. The reason for that is the line is always crazy just to order your coffee, and then the line to pick up your coffee is usually even longer. So it is a very long wait. It is very busy in there, and also I feel like it's just not somewhere, if you're on a Disney vacation, don't go to Starbucks. You guys can get that food when you're at home. Try something new, especially food-wise. Like, there's so many different snacks, especially in Animal Kingdom. Go try out these specialty snacks in the park. There's no need to get a cake pop or some type of breakfast sandwich from Starbucks. And I do feel that same way about Creature Comforts here in Animal Kingdom. There is another really good coffee spot if you were looking for a coffee over at Kusafiri in Africa, just over the bridge. It does close very early these days, but they have a coconut cold brew that is excellent. The only reason that Creature Comforts isn't in dead last here in Animal Kingdom is because out of all of the Starbucks at the parks, I feel like this one here always has the shortest line. So if you really did want to get your iced coffee or a refresher or something of that nature, at least you don't have to wait super long. So that's a big bonus. Number 6, Restaurantosaurus. I dined here at Restaurantosaurus very recently, and I actually ordered every single thing on the menu, so I won't be ordering anything from here today. Now, the reason that I decided to order everything on the Restaurantosaurus menu is because pretty soon this quick service restaurant will be going extinct. If you didn't know, Dinoland USA will be closing for good very, very soon. They've already began to put up some construction walls over by Dino-Rama. That whole area with the games, the Triceratops Spin, and the gift shop are permanently closed now. And this is my first time being back and seeing the construction walls, and it is very sad. So our days with Restaurantosaurus are numbered, and that's the reason that I ordered everything on the menu. And what did I find from ordering everything on the menu here? The food's not good. They've got a salad, they've got some burgers that are not good at all. They've also got a foot-long chili cheese dog that was kind of repulsive. I actually enjoyed the plant-based burger more than I enjoyed the regular cheeseburger here. The mac and cheese, while very basic, is passable, and sometimes that craveable mac and cheese that you want. But the save and grace here are, they serve Disney chicken tenders, and Disney chicken tenders are very delicious. So that is the reason that I have this not on the bottom. Another reason Restaurantosaurus isn't a little bit closer to the bottom is because I love the interior of this restaurant. I know we talked a little bit earlier about Pizzafari and how Disney would never build anything like that ever again, and I feel like that statement is even more true about Restaurantosaurus. The amount of details in this quick service restaurant are insane. There's like a whole story to this simple quick service restaurant serving up chicken tenders and cheeseburgers, and the amount of like memorabilia and stuff to look at. Even in the like days leading up to the Dino-Rama closure, I even came back to Restaurantosaurus. I was discovering even more than when I came a few days before to eat the whole menu. There is stuff everywhere, little nods to every little thing when it comes to Disney, and I think it's just such a unique restaurant that, again, Disney would never build anything, put this amount of detail into a quick service restaurant ever again, I feel. My favorite little detail of all, though, of course, has to be this framed photo of Walt with dinosaurs. I'm trying to avoid the glare, but again, I didn't realize this my last time in here, and then some friends pointed out to me, and how cool is that photo? That's a little detail that I just feel like they would never add to a quick service restaurant again. Number 5, the Smiling Crocodile. Wow. For starters, I am very surprised that Disney is considering the Smiling Crocodile a quick service restaurant, because in my eyes, it's more of like a snack cart, I guess. And if you're considering the Smiling Crocodile a quick service restaurant, it's very weird that 8 Spoons Cafe right across the way that's serving up the same kind of like style of food is not considered a quick service restaurant. I don't know how that was determined. And I've got to admit, I actually quite like the Smiling Crocodile. On the menu, they've got some tacos, some street corn tacos, as well as some chicken tacos. And then they also have barbacoa nachos that are very good. Along with that, they're serving up a side of chips with salsa and queso, which again, are really good. I appreciate the fact that they have those plant-based street corn tacos. I've never had them, but I've heard amazing things. I have had the chicken tacos, and I can confirm I really enjoy them, and I would get them so much more often if this place was ever open. And if they're not closed for the whole day, they close super early, usually between 1 and 3 o'clock. This place is closed if they even open for the day. If this place was open like daily and open longer, this might be in the talks to be a top 3 spot, to be totally honest. I really love the food that they're dishing up there, but because it's always closed or closing very early, I've got to put it a little lower. And also, I feel like I need to mention, if 8 Spoons Cafe was included on this list of quick service restaurants, that would certainly be a top 3 quick service restaurant for me. The loaded mac and cheese they're serving up there is chef's kiss. Number 4, the Harambe Market. Okay, now we're starting to get into the good stuff. We're in the middle of the pack here, and I actually think Harambe Market is pretty underrated. For my personal understanding, the menu here at Harambe Market used to look a little bit different before COVID, and maybe might have been even better, but weren't most things at Disney better before COVID? So, what we've got here now, I actually kind of like. And before we get to any of the good stuff, I want to touch on the few bad things about the Harambe Market. Number 1, it's all outdoor seating, and as you know, Orlando gets very, very hot. So if you were looking for somewhere to relax, although it's a beautiful seating area, very cozy back here, it can get very warm. There's nowhere to go and escape the heat and like go inside. There is some shade, but that's about it. The shade doesn't really help that much when it's 100-something degrees in Orlando. So the outdoor dining is definitely a negative. And then also another negative, like many things in Animal Kingdom, like we just discussed with the Smiling Crocodile, Harambe Market closes very early, usually around 3 o'clock every day, which is unfortunate for someone like myself who likes to come to the parks a little bit later. I can just almost never come here because by the time I make my way to Animal Kingdom, this place is closed or getting ready to close. So closing at 3 o'clock is very unfortunate. But now let's start getting into some of the good stuff. And the main good thing about this restaurant is, of course, the food. I think they've got some really unique African-inspired offerings on the menu. I think they could get a little bit more adventurous with it, but they're keeping it safe and keeping it to Americans' taste buds. They pretty much have rice bowls, so like you get like rice, some veggies, and either chicken or shrimp or a combo of both. They also have a couple of like pitas on the menu and then a Caesar salad, which really confuses me, and I wish they did some type of African-inspired salad instead of just throwing a Caesar salad on the menu. I think that's very lazy, I must admit. But I do really enjoy the rice bowls. They're a great, healthier option for theme park dining. Like I said, it's like rice, some veggies, and some protein, and I think it's a huge portion as well. You get so much food when you order one of these rice bowls, so I think the value is fantastic. I personally like grabbing myself a chicken rice bowl and coming to sit out here next to where the train goes by, and then we'll be able to hear and see the train, the Wildlife Express, as it pulls back into the station. I think it's super cozy on a nice day. Luckily today it's like 80 degrees and not 105. She's coming around the bend. Well, look at her go. The Wildlife Express to Rafiki's Planet Watch. So I decided to get the chicken rice bowl here to show you guys. We've got a ton of chicken. Look at how loaded this bowl here is. They give you way more meat than Chipotle, that's for sure. A ton of jollof rice here, a ton of this cucumber, tomato, and onion salad, delicious. And then some tzatziki sauce drizzled on top. So this is just like a really good all-around meal. I think the flavor tons of flavor, super hearty and filling, yet also like light enough at the same time, you know? The tzatziki on there is great. Like I said, this chicken, super flavorful, seasoned very well. My favorite part though has to be this little fresh salad on top. I love cucumbers. They're like my favorite vegetable. So it just kind of ties everything together very nicely. This place, you know, these bowls, I guess, remind me a lot of Kava. Has anyone had Kava before? The like fast casual chain Kava. It's like Mediterranean Chipotle. It's very similar to this in a way. And I love Kava, so I love Harambe Market here. I also wanted to point out that this bowl here is $13, and I am not kidding. There is so much food in here. It's so heavy. This is like easily shareable. So I think for the price, it really is fantastic. I would share this, honestly, because there's so many other good foods in Animal Kingdom. But if you wanted to try this out, but get a smaller portion, they also have a kids meal chicken bowl for like $8.50. That probably comes with 2 sides, a side, and a small drink. So, I mean, I would even just go, I should have gone kids route today. You know, I always love getting the kids meals at Disney, but I really think the food here is fantastic. But there is another quick service restaurant in Animal Kingdom serving up some chicken and rice kind of bowls. And we're gonna get to that spot very late into this video. Number 3, the Yak and Yeti Local Food Cafes, aka Yak and Yeti's quick service restaurant. Located right next to my favorite sit-down restaurant in the park, Yak and Yeti, and honestly one of my favorite sit-down restaurants in all of Disney World is Yak and Yeti Local Food Cafes. I do very rarely come to the quick service restaurant here, and that's only because I love the sit-down restaurant so much. So I typically end up going just to the main Yak and Yeti instead of the quick service. Which, by the way, if you have not eaten at Yak and Yeti, please do yourself a favor and make a reservation. It is phenomenal. They're of course serving up Asian food. We are in the Asia section of the park, and the quick service restaurant here is serving up the same style of food. Some of the stuff is like the same that they serve inside. Some of the stuff is a little bit different, but in general, it's covering a bunch of different Asian cuisines. One major downside to dining at Yak and Yeti is that they don't accept mobile order. I guess because it's a third-party restaurant here in the park, but they don't have mobile order. So sometimes the line could get quite long to actually place your order. And then similar to Harambe Market, there's only outdoor dining, but I think the food here is really good, and we're actually gonna grab some stuff here, so let's go hop in line. It's a little bit later in the day, so it was a quick, harmless wait. I've picked up my food, but I wanted to go over the menu with you guys because I think the menu here at the quick service is very impressive. It's quite an extensive menu when it comes to quick service. Like, there are a lot of different things on this menu here. They have honey sesame chicken, firecracker shrimp, an American Kobe cheeseburger, which is $18.99. That's super expensive for a quick service meal. They have a Korean fried chicken sandwich, rib tips, sweet and sour shrimp tempura, teriyaki chicken salad, vegetable tikka masala, and a veggie burger. And then they also have like a plethora of sides. They have egg rolls, pot stickers, chicken fried rice, fries, and like 4 different desserts. Like, I think that's one of the bigger quick service menus in any of the parks. But as we were looking through things, I noticed that a lot of the things on the menu are a bit expensive. That's probably because this is a third-party restaurant, so we're having to account for that. An $18 burger from a quick service is a bit crazy, and I do remember from the past, the portion sizes aren't always the biggest, which goes the same with my honey sesame chicken that I ordered. Pretty expensive. It was $15 for like 6 pieces of chicken and a tiny spoonful of rice. But what we do get here is pretty okay Chinese food. Is it much above like your local mall's Chinese restaurant? Probably not. But in a world of very below average Chinese and Asian food in theme parks, I think this is definitely one of the best. I think the food here at Yak and Yeti, even the quick service, is better than all of the food in the China Pavilion altogether. I mean, the honey sesame chicken here, nothing to write home about, but if you're wanting some type of like Asian sweet and sour style chicken, this is your spot. It's pretty solid. There are certainly a couple more things on the menu that I would be interested in trying next time. The cheeseburger, the Korean fried chicken sandwich, as well as those rib tips. If any of you guys have tried that before, let me know down below and let me know how they are. But I did pick up one other thing from Yak Yeti, the famous chicken fried rice. This is a side here, and it did cost me $7.99. I remember when this thing of fried rice here used to cost $5, and I remember getting it all the time back then, but for $8, I mean, it is a lot of food. This is very heavy. It is completely packed in there, so it's a lot of food, but $8 for a side, maybe a little bit crazy. But let's try it out and see if it's as good as I remember. Pretty solid fried rice. There's a couple carrots, peas, and I see some egg in there. Not that very many chicken chunks in this fried rice here. Is it anything special? No, but for theme park fried rice, it's really good. And this is still a very shareable portion if you wanted to get this as like an extra side, or you could just make this your whole meal, to be honest. It's a lot of rice. It did certainly taste better when it was only $5 though. Number 2, Flame Tree BBQ. That rhymed. Flame Tree BBQ might be the most popular quick service restaurant here in Animal Kingdom, and I certainly think it's a great one. I am not typically someone who loves barbecue food, and obviously by the name they are serving up some barbecue, and even as someone who doesn't love barbecue, I think the food here at Flame Tree is phenomenal. They have traditional barbecue favorites like ribs, pulled pork, smoked chicken, but then they also have some unique things like the loaded mac and cheese, which has got to be one of the best things to eat in any of the parks. The mac and cheese is loaded up with some pulled pork, some coleslaw, some onion rings. It is super tasty. The mac on its own is amazing, but then when you add all those extra toppings, it's so good and probably my go-to dish at this restaurant. But this time I decided to switch it up and get the ribs and chicken combo. This here comes with a smoked chicken, ribs, and it's served with baked beans and usually coleslaw, but instead of the coleslaw, I decided to just get a cuties. This does cost $16, but I think the quality kind of justifies that price. It looks like we've got about 3 ribs, like a half a chicken or so, and then you get 2 sides with it. Like I said, it usually comes with coleslaw. I got baked beans. I wish you could, because they do have a side of mac and cheese here. I wish you could sub out one of the sides for mac and cheese, but they don't allow it. They also have really good cornbread here. That's like, I believe it's like $2, or at least last time I checked it was like $2 for a side of, and I enjoy the cornbread a lot, but we're gonna get into this smoked meat here. Before we do, I just have to mention, they used to have and like make their own barbecue sauce. They used to be able to like dispense it on your own and put it on top of your stuff. Now they're giving you cans. Come on, Disney, make your barbecue sauce. And isn't this plate like, didn't they used to have like an actual Disney branded plate, or am I going crazy? It's just like a plain white plate now. But anyways, let's get into the food. First, the rib. You know, I really like these ribs here. These are St. Louis style ribs. They are dry. They give you the barbecue sauce on the side, but I actually like that. I don't like overly saucy ribs. You can see the ring of smoke on these ribs here. It has some really nice color, and then on the top you've got all that charring, all of the bark, and it is super flavorful, seasoned very, very well. The ribs are a little bit on the smaller side, but they do provide a lot of flavor, and they are very, very good. Very tender meat. It's kind of falling right off the bone there. And I love that bark on the outside. For like barbecue food in a theme park, this is really hard to beat. We have the baked beans here. There's some pork in here as well, I believe. Yeah, look at that big, that's a big chunk of pork here in these baked beans. Honestly, these beans are taking me by surprise here. I don't remember them being this good. They're mustardy, they're vinegary, they're barbecuey, they're smoky, very hearty and meaty. See some onions in there and some peppers. These are so much better than I ever remembered. Oh my gosh. These beans here are honestly one of the better things that I have eaten today. But I also want to get into this chicken here, and again, same with the ribs. Look at all that like bark on there. We've got like a breast and a wing, so it's a good little chunk there. We'll tear away the ring and just get into the breast meat here. This is so juicy. I mean, the juice is just dripping out of this chicken, and similar to the ribs, the flavor of that meat, the skin on the outside is just absolutely delicious. Great smoke flavor, great quality piece of chicken. Again, you could add the barbecue sauce on there if you like, but I think it's really good without it. Like, seriously, for a theme park to be serving up this good of barbecue food, it's really quite impressive. And I still think the mac and cheese, the loaded mac and cheese, would be my go-to from Flame Tree personally, but this is a great option. Also, they got rid of the onion rings. They used to have onion rings on the menu here, and you could get them as a side. They were so good. I need those onion rings back. And I also need the house-made sauces back. And I almost forgot, they also have like a pulled pork loaded fry thing. They have like fries topped with cheese sauce and then the pulled pork and some barbecue sauce. That's another great thing they're dishing up here at Flame Tree BBQ. Honestly, anything you get at Flame Tree is gonna be good and you are going to be impressed.
And drum roll please, because the #1 quick service restaurant in Animal Kingdom is Satu'li Canteen. And I mean, this really should come as no surprise. I think many people would agree, and I also think many people would agree that I think Satu'li Canteen is the best quick service restaurant at Disney World altogether. If Disney served me the food that they serve at Satu'li Canteen at a sit-down restaurant and charged me $25-30 for it, I would pretty much be okay with it. But no, it is a lot cheaper and it's at a quick service restaurant that you can just walk up and grab. When this restaurant opened with Pandora in 2017, it became an instant classic, serving up some of the foods that Animal Kingdom is now most known for, including the famous cheeseburger pods, which we will get to in just a little bit. But for now, I just want to talk about how truly immersive this restaurant is. From the moment you step inside of Satu'li Canteen, really the moment you step inside of Pandora in general, you feel immersed in a whole nother world. The cast members all use a certain language. They talk in, is it called Navi? Is that what it's called? But they use certain like sayings that they say in the movie Avatar, and the food is kind of like adventurous for a theme park, you know? And honestly, out of every time I come to Animal Kingdom, the majority of the time I am coming to Satu'li Canteen. I really love it here so much. They have some amazing food, some really healthy, fresh tasting foods, and they also have some amazing kids meals. And I come to Satu'li a lot, and like 80% of the time I probably order a kids meal. They have a lot of really good things on the kids menu, including the kids cheeseburger pod meal. You could get a kids Satu'li bowl, and also my favorite kids meal, the kids hot dog. This here is wrapped in an almost sweet dough, and you can get it with chips and a cutie here, which is always my go-to, and you also get a little drink with it, so I of course went with a DC. I already took a couple sips. But then I also wanted to get a Satu'li bowl to show you guys as well. Now this bowl is kind of like a customizable Chipotle style option. You could pick your protein, you could pick between tofu, shrimp, beef, and chicken, and then you could pick your base. I believe there's a couple. They have like salads, they have a potato hash, they have rice and beans. I might be missing one. And then you can pick your sauce. They have a green onion vinaigrette, a creamy herb. I always go green onion vinaigrette on the bowl, and then I ask for an additional side of the black bean because I really like combining the two. That is my go-to bowl at Satu'li. We'll start by digging into this kids hot dog here. I'm trying to open my mustard packet. Not working. Let's try the other one. Come on. I only got 2. Well. Oh, okay. I got it. Well, we've got our hot dog here. I cut it in half so you can kind of see the center. Our glazz is in the middle, and then on the outside you can see it's like coated in some like honey of some sort. Mustard on the dog. Oh yeah. I'll go ahead and say it right now. This is hands down the best hot dog at Disney World. It really is. And it's a kids meal. That is so crazy. The kids meals at Satu'li here are insane. They're great value. You get 2 sides, the entree, and a drink. And I like the cheeseburger pod kids meal as well, but man, the hot dog, the perfect little treat. Now for our bowl here, we'll go ahead and drizzle that black bean on top. The sauces, I feel like, are what really make Satu'li Canteen stand out. I mean, they're so good. And like, I can never decide between the
green onion and the black bean. So I always just go both, and they complement each other very, very well. We've got a big piece of chicken on there, some slaw, some of the rice and beans. The slaw and the popping boba in there add a nice sweetness. The rice seasoned very well. The chicken freshly grilled, and you can tell it's a little bit smaller than the bowl that we had over at the Harambe Market, but this is still plenty of food, and I think it tastes just like a little bit fresher than over at Harambe Market, man. This bowl is hard to beat. Now, missing from the spread today are the cheeseburger pods, which we briefly touched on in the beginning, and the cheeseburger pods are amazing. It's like a bao bun, but it's stuffed with a McDonald's cheeseburger. It has pickle flavor, a mustard flavor, an onion flavor, the ground beef. It's creamy from the cheese. It's really, really so good. If you haven't tried them, you have to. And since those cheeseburger pods are also on the kids menu, a lot of times what I'll end up doing is just coming here and ordering 2 kids meals, whether it's a kids cheeseburger bun and a kid's hot dog, or a kid's cheeseburger bun and a kid's bowl. I like to order 2 kids meals sometimes just because I love so much of the food on this menu and I can never decide what to get. So getting the kids meals is a good way to kind of try it all, but not get too full and save a little bit of money as well. Well, folks, that is going to do it for us here today in Disney's Animal Kingdom. It was a lovely day going around and ranking all of the quick service restaurants and trying all that yummy food. If you haven't already, let me know whether you agree or disagree with my ranking in the comments. Thank you to everyone for checking out this video, and also my awesome Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you don't already and you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.